Robert Sugden discovered not everyone in the village is fond of his brother John Sugden. In tonight's episode of ITV Emmerdale, Robert Sugden found an unlikely ally as he discovered not everyone in the village is fond of his brother John Sugden. A few weeks prior, John had visited Robert in prison, hoping to dissuade him from returning to the village and, more specifically, from interacting with Erin Dingle, Danny Miller. However, Robert managed to provoke John to such an extent that he became incredibly irate. John issued a chilling threat to his brother, warning him that he could end his life and that Robert was unaware of what he was truly capable of. Since then, Robert has kept this encounter fresh in his mind. He made his return to Emmerdale a couple of days later, informing John and Erin that he intended to spend more time with his family. It was clear, however, that he also aimed to distance his ex from his estranged brother, whom he perceives as a threat. Yesterday, Victoria Sugden expressed her frustration at being caught in the middle of her two brothers' feud and decided to take action. She brought John and Robert to some ancestral family land, reminding them that their forebears would never let disagreements linger for long, as they ultimately had to cooperate. John and Robert grasped Victoria's message and agreed to a truce. However, unbeknownst to Victoria, who was standing at a distance, they privately admitted that their show of unity was merely a facade for their sister's sake. In tonight's episode, John and Robert found themselves in an awkward lunch at the Hyde, with Vic trying a bit too hard to make things comfortable. Following the lunch, Matty Barton dropped by Vic's place to let her know he'd be moving back to Butler's. The conversation then shifted to Robert's need for employment after losing his trial position at the depot. Understanding the challenges of readjusting to life post-prison, Matty offered Robert a few hours of work on the farm. Upon Robert's arrival at the barn, Mackenzie Boyd voiced his concerns about Robert working alongside John, but Robert assured him it wouldn't be an issue. Robert's stint at Butler's went surprisingly well, leading him to join Mac and Matty for a few pints at the local pub later that day. As Matty headed to the bar, Robert and Mac began discussing John. Robert picked up on Mackenzie's lack of enthusiasm for John. Mac admitted that while he wasn't fond of John initially, his opinion had slightly changed due to John having his back on a few occasions. However, Robert seemed fixated on the fact that Mac doesn't hold the same high regard for John as everyone else. In his pursuit to expose John's true colors, will Robert manage to win over Mackenzie's support?